Okay, so we had an excellent beginner challenge today in our second React training of the bootcamp. Sorry, our second React challenge of the bootcamp. And yeah, we're just going to go through a few questions. Today, one of the students is going to help me answer some questions as well, just in preparation for their presentation coming up later. So, this one. So I think we were going to take Porix code on this one if we could. And, we don't have to if you don't want us to. Do you want to do it from scratch? We can do it from scratch, yeah?
I can't remember what I typed, but I know it was wrong.
Okay, I'll do it from scratch for now, and then we'll have a look at everyone's code in a second. So, first thing, we've got a text area component, and we're trying to find a text area. So hopefully we know from our HTML that text area is a thing, it's a tag. So it looks like we need to include one of those. Yeah, I'll close it for now. Right, text area.props.value. So in other words, we need a value property in our text area, and we need it to equal a certain thing. Over 300 languages are spoken in London. But does this value change from case to case? It looks like it does, right? So we can't hard code it as perhaps we've done in the previous input question. We need to instead get it from the props, right? So here we can see that text area, if you can't see it very well on the screen again, just go onto YouTube and hopefully you can see it there, yeah. So the text area has two props passed to it, yeah? A value prop and a placeholder prop. We can see that our function has already got props passed into it, the props object passed into it. So what can I put inside here as my value? Props.value, yeah, inside curly braces, right? Yeah. And also, it looks like we need a placeholder to equal the props.placeholder. So where does that go? Does that go inside these two, or where does it go? Within the text area tag, the first bit, yeah? So Porix, you didn't get this question right, but it seems to me that you've just solved it for us live.
I didn't get was the text area tag.
Ah.
I thought I did put one instead.
Okay.
But I was on the right track except for that. That's probably one.
Any elegance issues there or anything at the moment? Before I run it? Won't let me back over.
One more missing.
There's what, sorry? Something missing?
There's one more missing.
You talk about the code base.
No? Well, there's a value, placeholder, what else is there?
No, it's not an input, so we don't need.
No, I think we've got props.value, props.placeholder.
Oh,
So to put text area, so we don't need to set input.
well, it's not input.
Yeah, okay, I'll run it.
Oh, yeah, I'm not on the stuff.
And that's it, yeah. Simple as that.
Yeah, I didn't put text area on it, but
Cool, so you know for next time that just make sure that you pay attention to the when condition as well. Don't skip straight down to the expectations. This is the setting up of your question, so you can see that we're passing in two props and also we're looking to find a text area element. Yeah, so just don't skip over that, Porix, and then I think you'll be absolutely fine. Nice. Richard, do you want to come up and talk us through question 4, please? Yep, you can take this chair and I'll go somewhere else. Hopefully you can get used to my keyboard.
Okay, so we have the evaluator here, which is looking through, we're calling the function film score, and we're passing in the properties a title and a score, and the score is a value number, in each case 45 or 68 or 82, and we don't really have to pay attention to the title at the moment because what we're looking for is the text that we output, and it wants to see if the text is less than 50, and then we'll output poor, or if it's that, we'll output nice, or that, we'll output excellent. So what we have to do is we have to check what the score value is, and then return the appropriate strings. Right, so we're going to want to return something. And we need to check the score property that we get passed in. So we're going to open up a code block here. And check what the pops value is. So pops.score, and we're going to see if it's less than 50, we're going to have to output poor. So we go less than 50. We want the value of our return function to be poor. And if it's not less than 50, then we have to check if it's greater than or equal to 50 and less than 75. Or we could just do greater than equal to 75. I think that would also work. Let's go. Oops. Greater than equal to 75. Then we'll output excellent. And now we know that if it's not less than 50, so if it's not poor, if it's not excellent, then it will have to be nice. We don't put a semicolon at the end because we want this expression to just be an expression. Otherwise, if we put a semicolon, that's a statement. And this should probably work. Any issues?
I think so. Don't think line 3 is going to be too long. Should be within the character limit.
Okay, let's see what happens. Okay.
Beautiful.
Right.
Yeah, you can either move on to the next one, or we could just have a look, see what other people did. So that was here. I was thinking about it, is it? Yep, good. Did everyone solve it that way or use a slightly different approach? Did you all use ternaries?
I went with stable, but I didn't go.
So Vince, you did ternary still, yeah? Nice. Yeah, and you both used less than 75. Yeah, I thought it'd be too long, but you still got 100%, so, well, 100 score, so no, it wasn't too long. Nice, nice. What's Nilofer done differently? And props. Okay, yeah. So Nilofer just used the double conditions, chained them together with an AND operator. And that was it, right? So, Porrick, where did you go wrong? Can we see?
I'm guessing Bacardi's over props still.
I'll leave the correct answer in there. So Porrick's is down below. Let's have a quick look at that, see if we can spot it.
He's starting to run the if. Yeah, without the curly brace around, so JSX is probably going to start complaining.
Yeah.
And
What error message did you get, Porrick? Can you remember? So you actually got a syntax error on. Yeah, so essentially. Richard's going to fix it for you now.
wonder if it's fine to use an if statement instead of a ternary if we just get rid of these. Oh, they each have returns over here. Else. So we don't need to assign anything here. I don't think we need the curly braces of around pops.score if we're inside a code block already.
Nope, shouldn't do.
And we also need to put one pops.score here.
Yep.
Okay, that might go over the edge, but
Let's see if we can get it running first.
No, we need to have a return statement in if.
Yeah, you need to return for the
I know if we did this, it would definitely work.
Richard, we need to have a return statement in if.
So before Paul.
Ah, I see.
So where Porritt had all his return statements.
Yeah. Mhm. So okay, we could rewrite this all as a big if.
Yeah, so yeah, I think that's closer to what Porritt was going for, and it's a nice logical way to present it as well, using your if-else statements. If the ternary still gets a bit confusing sometimes, which it can do with chain ternaries and nested ternary operators.
Presumably, I guess we have to wrap these around.
Yeah, so it's not as dry as it this way, but
Alright, let's see. This probably might work.
The double quotes,
Double quotes.
you need to remove between the tags.
Correct, yep, that's a good point.
good spot in the loafer.
Right.
Nice.
That's another way to do it.
So that's another way to do it, Porritt. So whatever you prefer. Keep practicing with the ternaries.
That's
That's
the annoying
the what way?
the annoying way.
The annoying way, yeah, perhaps, but you know, still valid and still useful, and yeah, to older developers that might actually feel more natural because they've grown up with if and else if, and they haven't adopted the ternary that much. But hey, it doesn't really matter. I like ternaries. I think they're nice and concise and quite elegant. But yeah, that's totally valid as well. Cool. Thank you very much, Richard.
Okay.
Very clear. Any other questions on beginner things? Because I think we've already gone through this question before, so I'm tempted to move on to intermediate if that's okay, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. I just want to get the code review because I think Aeneas wanted to go through question 1, was it, Aeneas? Yeah? You wanted to look at your code specifically.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it was question one.
So I think question 1, let's leave that quickly. Question 1 was on inputs, wasn't it, on intermediate? So here we go.
Yeah, there's this one.
Was that one?
Yeah.
Okay. So essentially, we need an input, yeah? I think we've just got the one thing. And what type of component have we got here then? It says we want to track changes via set state. So I imagine we've got a stateful component, right? So in other words, we need to set it up. Shall we have something up the top?
Constructor.
A constructor would be nice, yeah.
Super.
Yeah, why not? Let's call super. And let's initialize some state, yeah. What do we need in our state? Well, I don't think it specifies for us, right? It doesn't have to be named anything in particular. But if we look at our data,
It's a string.
it's definitely a string, but it appears to be a name or a first name, yeah? So I could easily name it first name, and then my initial value I can set, right? By the looks of it, I can set my initial value to Peter, I believe. Or does that come from? No, yeah, I can. There's no props, are there? No props at all. It's just an input without props. So, okay. So that should be it for the constructor. And then we need a render method because it's a class.
One thing, Greg.
Yeah.
Should the equal sign after a state?
Oh, yep. I was mixing state and set state. I was doing your trick with the syntax, right? So that's equal to an object, yeah? Okay. So we need a return. And inside of our return, we need our input, yeah? Okay. I think that's okay so far, and then the key bit is coming here, right? Simulate a change. So usually when we see simulate on the left hand side, it's hinting at there's some sort of event going on. Yeah, so in this case an on change event. And in React, we're going to cover this on Thursday in a bit more detail, but in React we can just literally put it inside of the opening tag, and we can write on change, yeah, because it's an on change event. Notice the capitalized C, yeah, camel case events in React. And then we are going to, yeah, let's pass it as a arrow function. And what does it need to do? Well, it needs to display.
Just change the first
Yeah, so we're going to using set state, aren't we? Which means we want to track changes via a set state. So in other words, we can call set state. And pass that an object. And we want to update the first name with what? Yeah, with whatever the user's put into that input field, yeah? Which we can access via, just think the easiest way to write this, where shall I put the line break? What do you reckon? No, that's not really going to help much. Have it there, perhaps? That let me? Yeah. Let's drop that one down. And we can use e.target.value. Set state first name e.target.value. Okay. Anything wrong with that?
Should we get this up before set state?
This dot set state, indeed. Yeah. Probably just need a few semicolons and stuff, right? Anywhere else? Up here?
What about
The value? What, this value?
after, so.
Ah, yeah. So expect input. So we need a type equals text, don't we? Oops. And we need a value to be equal to what? This dot state dot first name. Yep. Yeah. How about now then? So we've covered that one. I think the value is going to get Peter. And our on change event. Happy Nolofa with that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Doesn't sound too sure, but let's run it just in case. Okay, fantastic. And my elegant, so miss it yet. So I should technically have a space after my render. And 11.1. Yeah, alright, it wasn't liking my indentation there. Fair enough. Yes, let's look at Aeneas's code then and see why hers didn't work. I think she would have been very close and she maybe overcomplicated it again. Let's have a look.
I was trying to follow what was in the doc from React.
Oh, you're trying to follow the React documentation, which maybe did it a slightly different way. Let's have a look at the code. So we can see that Vincent did it very, very similarly to what we've just done. And his event handler, yep, he wrote in exactly the same way. So Richard did something slightly different. So he bound this, right? This dot handle change. Yeah, for some reason I can't. Yes, I can. Scroll across. So Richard just used a bind at the top, and that meant he could reference his handle change method. He wrote a separate method as well, rather than trying to write it in line, just by this dot handle change. And yeah, I mean his set state does exactly the same. He just had a separate method for it. So yeah, it's up to you. If it starts to get a little bit messy down here in the, to be honest, Vincent wrote it better than me. So he had a nice indentation there. If that started to get too long, of course it's better to use a separate method like Richard has done, but I think we can just about get away with it in this case, right? So up to you. Aeneas, let's take your code. Didn't like this one, the loafer, yeah? You skipped that one?
Yeah.
Is it making a bit more sense now?
Yeah.
Excellent. Let's see what Aeneas did. So you set an initial state value of an empty string. Then this dot change value dot bind this. So you bound your event.
I kept getting props method needs to be used on one node.
Yeah. Okay, let me run the code then and I'll show you why we're getting that.
I mean, I tried without the props and the parentheses, and Peter instead of the empty string. That didn't work either.
Alright, method props is meant to be run on one node. So that error therefore is coming, well, essentially,
Capital I, right? But it's not seeing the inputs.
yeah, definitely. So essentially because that line is failing, yeah, get input So get input is set to the result of calling find on the input tag, and you've rendered the input component, so you've almost got a component that renders itself, so that might be some sort of weird infinite loop thing going on here. But anyway, the test just can't find the input because it needs to be a small I. Yeah, this is a normal HTML tag as opposed to this component. Yeah, so that, I think that's the main difference. Will it work? I mean, that's what's causing this error, but will it work now? Type equals text value equals this state value. Yeah, so you haven't set your initial value to be Peter. Is there a reason why you didn't do that?
Because I tried it and it didn't work.
Because you tried it and didn't work, so you tried something else. Fair enough.
And also, I was trying to make it like more dynamic. I didn't want necessarily like Peter to be like. I was thinking, what if our initial string wasn't Peter? You know?
Okay, I mean, yeah, it's not going to work in this case because, yeah, it fails on that line. We expect the initial value to be Peter, yeah, and you've set it to down here to an empty string. So we do actually need, in this case, for the value to be Peter. And then that was it. That worked. So tiny little thing, really, just the capital I.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So we had 2 more input questions and then some calc questions. Not calc, some state questions at the end. So Vince, I know you said you want to go through question 5, but I think we should spend a bit more time maybe on 1 or 2 others first, yeah, and then we'll come to 5 at the end. Any preferences on which questions to go through? Question 2, so Aeneas, you had a good go again, but just a slight error there probably somewhere, so we could have a quick look at that if you wanted. Was 3 really hard, or you just didn't really get that far, Aeneas?
Well, I just had the feeling that I was on the right track for the 2 previous questions, so I just.
So you wanted to try and get
was
those?
trying to finish them.
Yeah, all right. Let's take that then. Don't copy and paste. It's an anti-pattern. Right. I like the first bit. I like the constructor. Set to an empty string, right? That's what we had to do. Again, we needed an input. This time we got a little I. Perfect. We also needed a label, which you've got. So I think that satisfied the when. Expect props.value to equal empty string. You set it equal to salary. So let salary equals this dot state dot salary. That's fine.
There's a space between the label and the first opening curly brace.
Here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So our message text message is the label. Yep, so you've also set that to an empty string with a ternary, right? Expected salary, dollar, pound, yeah. No, because you've done it up there, yeah, outside the return statement. You've
I was too lazy to type it.
no, I like this. I do this a lot, yeah, and I think React does this a lot in their official documentation and
A
yeah.
semicolon after that statement.
Say again, the
After the
loafer?
After the let, a semicolon.
After the
Statement, there's a when you put a semicolon at the end.
oh here, yeah, absolutely. Okay. On change this dot state e dot target dot value. Yeah, all right. I'm going to run that and see where the error was. Oh,
Oh my god.
It was a space.
is it just that space?
Yeah.
Wow.
I could have got like 2 questions submitted.
Yeah,
It's
just
just
one
like
typo.
it's really
So, I mean, if that happens, then we should get some output that we can deal with, right?
What I got as a message was,
This.
expected space
Yeah.
equal string.
So you could see that there was an an extra space there
I
somewhere.
couldn't see it.
But you couldn't see
exactly
where.
it was in the string input.
Yeah, well, you thought it was up in this dot state. So if you hover over raw results, does that help any more?
Yeah, I couldn't read it on my screen either. So.
Oh, well, yeah, that's really bright. Yeah. Doesn't give me a line number there, does it? Not that I can see.
Oh, colon, yeah. Explicit colon, but it's not. Oh, wait. I can't see.
Yeah, that's a hard one to decipher. I guess you've just got to be very, very careful between any of your tags that it treats any spaces literally, yeah? So just make sure that there are no extra spaces anywhere between your tags.
Okay.
Yeah, and then other than that, it was just tidying up the elegance a bit, right? What else was it complaining about? Operator equals must be spaced, 413. Yeah, so just little things like that, right? Isn't semicolon. It's doing one at a time now for some reason. Right, usually it just gives a flood of them, and now it's doing one at a time.
Oh
Ah.
God.
Mix spaces and tabs, so yeah, just take it back to the end, tab it. 5.1, expected indentation. So that's under the constructor, yeah, that's closing the constructor, so make sure that goes underneath. Expected indentation of 1 tab found. Oops. And then we're down to the actual return, I think. So return div input. So that one needs to be under input, yeah, label, salary. Where's my closing label gone? I've lost it. There it is. Oops. Is that better? Okay. Yep, nice. So, yeah, just fixing up the elegance at the end. But the main thing was to get it working first, and that must have been very, very frustrating, but you know you're very close for next time, yeah? Pay extra attention to those spaces, and I can't remember the first issue on the first question.
Yeah, it was easy for the characters.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Just you put your case sensitive things. So 2 easy fixes, so you'll get a lot higher score next time, hopefully. Fantastic. Yeah, we've got a bit of time, so let's move on. I should probably have copied that whole component so we've got a structure to work from, because I'm lazy at writing out my constructor and stuff again. What do we need in the constructor this time, guys? Initial value to be Charlotte, yep. So what are we going to call that? First name again? I'm really lazy now, I'm just going for F name. Charlotte. Make sure we get the spaces again. And make sure we have the constructor line up properly and the semicolon. Fantastic. And Don't know if this was any quicker. It probably wasn't, right? Save my fingers from typing. Okay. So what type of event have we got this time?
So we basically want to reset the value when you press the button.
Mm-hmm.
So basically clear the input.
So shall I return a button for now? Or
Well,
not? Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, is that okay to do?
Yeah, that's it.
Button. This button has some text, right? We can see here, it just says reset. So I'm going to put that in. Whoops. Make sure there's no spaces or anything, yeah, because that space will be counted if we do put a space there. Okay, the button needs an on click. Indeed it does. And I'm not going to bind it, I'm going to do it this way. Send it as a function for now.
This got set state f name in there, a structure called with f name and then equals empty space.
Yep. This dot set state. Call it with an object, and we're changing f name. And we're setting it to empty string, because we want to reset in this case. Weird spacing. And we also need some other element in there as well, right?
Yeah, input.
We need another input. And this one inside it. Oh no, no, it needs a prop, right? A value of this dot state dot f name. And type text. Okay, so that's covered that bit. We've done an input with type text. We've done a button. Yep, thanks.
No, we need to close the input tag.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
We've props.value. And then we need to close the input tag as well, as everyone keeps reminding me. We got some text in our button with reset. And we've simulated a click event. And on that click event, we are setting the state equal to empty string. Okay, so looks good, I think. Elegance issues? Don't tell me I actually put in all my semicolons. Yep. So at the moment we've got adjacent elements. I don't think we need a div, so I'm just going to do a React fragment for now.
do you need to add that? Can you div, or can you add some give me either kind of div or?
Yeah, so this is shorthand for a React fragment. Just these opening and closing, whatever you call them, tags. Or yes, you could put a div in there. It's just to get around that adjacent elements error without polluting your DOM with lots of divs. Oh, there should be no space inside this parent. No, inside this parenthesis, this one, right? didn't know that was actually an elegance issue. I sometimes do it because it makes it easier to read for me, but
Error as well.
yeah.
Message.
Okay. So there we go then. Don't space out your set state object. Okay, cool. Yeah, we've got a bit of time. Do you want to just, we might as well go through the remaining two, right? Oh, this looks quite long. I wish I'd copied the, have I got any constructor left anywhere? No. Okay, okay. Bear with me. Constructor. Huh? Huh?
I don't remember doing that one today.
You don't remember doing that one? Oh, yeah, no, we're on state now, aren't we? Yep. Okay.
Oh, I wonder. It's the perform some math operations.
Yep, skip. That was the one, right? Okay. Did anyone have a go at this or want to have a go at this now that
Oh.
didn't get it correct? Aeneas Nalofa, did you manage to get onto this one and have a look or not?
Yeah, I have.
You had a look?
No, I have
No,
done. This one was the right
Oh,
one.
you've done it?
Yes.
Ah, fantastic, well done. So did three of you get this one right?
Yeah, we looked at it.
Okay, cool. All right, let's just quickly do it for those that haven't. So, are you following Porik, or do you want me to slow down a bit?
You guys go on it.
Yeah, I mean, the general thing is always set up your constructor. We're probably going to need to call super. And we're probably going to need to initialize our state to something. In this case, looks like we've got a state.a and a state.b, and they're given specific values. So I'm going to create a equal to 7, comma b equal to 4, right?
C.
Need a C as well, do we?
No, the next one, sorry.
Oh, right, the next one, yeah. And then we're going to need a render method because we're inside our class-based component. We're usually going to need to return something. And what do we return in this case? Well, it's quite dependent, isn't it? So, looks like there is a prop being passed, yeah? So where would you set that? Did you bother setting that in the state, or did you just...
That's it. In the state here.
Yeah, so you did A, B, and then operation as your third? Yeah, cool, we can do that. And that is going to be equal to this dot props, right?
I use props.
Huh?
I use props.
Props.
Yeah, so I add props to constructing super. And then props dot operation as well.
Props dot operation. Huh? And I'm going to use Aeneas's way of renaming our variables, so we can just refer to them as A, B, and operation, right? This dot state. Okie doke. And then, conditionally, we need to do some sort of calculation. So did you write a ternary for this? Yeah. Okay, so we said something like operation equals add, then what did we have? the result is this one, yeah? Not specifically 11, but using our values in the state. So we could do this as a template literal. And the result is going to be, what? A plus B, yeah? Okie doke. Oops, I've got the wrong symbol there, right? I've got a colon there. Yeah, it should be a question mark. The colon's there. And let's do operation equals subtract next. Is that what they called it? Yep, subtract. And if it's that, we want the result is a minus b. Otherwise, this operation is not supported yet. Let's do it like that.
Oh, we're missing something.
What are we missing, Vince?
To surround the so the code process surround the JavaScript code.
So you want it here,
Yeah.
yeah? And then we have to indent everything. Oops, not like that. Okay.
So don't forget code process surrounding the code. Yes, it is.
Take away the semicolon.
Yeah. Oops. That'd be okay like that? Let's have a go. Unterminate. Oh, look! I just didn't even close my. Sorry, that's my terrible mistake there. There we go, and I missed a few semicolons. Surprise, surprise. 17 for after the return statement as well, and then we're done. Right. Cool. Because I think the next one's reasonably similar, I'm finally going to be clever and copy and paste from the previous question. Don't do that obviously in your challenge, but for speed today. It's called calc as well, isn't it? Awesome. So again, we've got A equals 7 and B equals 4, but then we've also got a state.total. So what I think Richard did is literally do uh, 7 plus 4 plus props.c, yeah? Yeah, which is perfectly valid. We know that 7 and 4 are given to us. We might want them separately, or we might want them as part of the total. So I don't see anything wrong with that. Then we just need to render that total, right? Is there anything else involved?
No.
No? So I can have my this.state.total just equal to total. And then it's just total, right?
The total is
Oh yeah, I hear up here. and do that as backticks again. Got a colon. Make it a variable. Another one of those. Another one of those. Not two. How many semicolons today? Yeah. That's it, right? Yeah. So I think the confusion there was maybe how do we calculate the total from A and B? Was that your issue, Vince, or?
I've complicated things. I used to reduce it for some reason.
So let's have a look. Bum, bum, bum. C props dot C total 0. Is that you, Vince?
That's me.
So you set total initially equal to 0, and then you were trying to calculate it down there. Expect state dot total to equal scenario dot total. Yeah, I think it had to be done up there in the state, right? You couldn't do it at render time. And then the loafer, C props dot C. Yeah, again, you were trying to do it at render time rather than setting it in the initial state in the loafer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the main issue. Cool. Any questions? But very good challenge. Very impressed. Very high scores. And yeah, I think probably next time we're going to have 3 people, or at least 3 people, that will get the qualifying score for the React Intermediate Challenge. Vince and Richard both got it today, technically, so I'm sure they will get it again. It will be consistent. And then, yeah, I expect probably another couple of people maybe to join them as well. All right, we'll leave it there then, yeah? Thank you very much.